Hey guys, so this video this video is about marijuana and just, my experiences with it. What is marijuana? Like, I mean, y'all know what marijuana is, but what does it actually do for you and your spiritual journey? Like how does it impact you on your spiritual journey? So, let me just start off by saying weed, there's like a lot of like negativity around weed, I feel like, or like negative opinions around weed. At least like kind of from what I experienced, like, some people might not agree with this, some people might think that it's like bad or whatever. Now there is weed out there nowadays that is bad for you, like the GMO weed, the dispensary weed, like all of that. I'm not talking about that weed, like, because that's government weed, and that weed is weaponized. It's used against, us. It's used against, like, it's just used. I personally believe that the weed, the GMO weed, the dispensary weed, I actually think that it does the opposite of what real weed is supposed to do. Like, I actually think that it, like, actually, like, I don't think it has any benefits at all. But like real weed, like real Mary Jane, real weed that comes from the universe, it grows naturally, that weed has a lot of benefits. Weed is just an interesting thing to talk about, like, because like it's not bad for you. It's not bad for you, but the weed that is out here now, it kind of is bad for you. So let's just stay on the real weed, because that's like what really is going to help you and, like, benefit you on your spiritual journey. So let me just start off by explaining my experience with weed, and I really hope, like, like, I'm not trying to influence anybody to like smoke weed or anything. The first time I smoked weed or whatever, I really hope I hope I don't get in trouble. High school, as most people do, and they do it in high school. It really opened my mind up to like new things. Like it opened up my mind. And I remember like the first time I did it, I was like I was just in another world. It was just so, like, I was just so happy. That's all I gotta say. Like, so yeah, and it's not a drug. Before you be like, oh, weed is a drug. Weed is not a drug. Okay, it grows from the earth. It grows from Mother Earth. She grows it with her energy and her love. So don't be like, oh, it's a drug. A drug is something that comes from a laboratory, that people make, and it has harmful like effects and can kill you. Like, that's a drug. But weed, you can't OD on weed. You can't die, from smoking it or eating it. Like, it doesn't kill you. Now, if you take weed that has pesticides, like government weed, like that might, I don't know, because I don't, but the natural weed is not bad for you. It's not a drug. It's not gonna harm you. So yeah, don't be talking about some, oh, weed is a drug. It's not a drug. It grows from the earth. It comes from Mother Earth, and it has healing benefits and a lot of spiritual benefits too. So, first time I did, I was really happy. I was already happy, but like, it just like, you feel that like euphoria kind of feeling. Like, it was just cool. And it was a sativa. So sativa really makes you like happy and energetic and just talkative. Like, just you just feel on top of the world with sativa, really. Like, at least I do. When you smoke weed, the weed, like, oh my goodness, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but when you smoke weed actually stimulates your pineal gland. So your pineal gland is right here. A lot of people call it the third eye. I call it third eye, my third eye. Your pineal gland, your what is the other one? It starts with an A, I think. It stimulates the pineal gland, and it just helps you see things in a different way. Like, it just like, I don't know, but like in the beginning of my journey, this is really what I experienced. I don't really experience that too much now, because now my pineal gland, my third eye is open. My third eye is very activated, and spinning, my chakra, my third eye chakra. My intuition is so strong. Like, and third eye, your third eye has to deal with your intuition and, you know, psychic abilities. And I'm pretty psychic. Like, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now, I'm pretty psychic. Like, my dreams have become overwhelmingly psychic. Like, I have been seeing so many things into the future, you know, whatever. But I've been seeing so many things, you know, that hasn't happened yet, or, you know, it like it might happen differently. Like, see, the thing with dreams, when you dream, sometimes like it'll kind of be like symbolic to what's gonna happen. Like I'll explain one dream that I had recently that was like symbolic to the future of people, and it's like, it's not good, but I mean, it was just like a psychic thing that I had. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I'm gonna go back to talking about the weed, but let me just explain this real quick. So the other night I was dreaming, and it was dark, it was dim. You know when you go into a cave and there's like those lights, just like those torches that just sit on the wall, you know, it kind of looked like that. So it seemed like we were underground or something, but it was like, it was some kind of government building. There were these people and they didn't have any hair. So like it was regular people, like regular people who are like, you know, like they weren't like special or anything. It was regular people, and but their heads were shaved with their back just hunched over. Like they just looked so defeated and sad and depressed. Like it was just so much depression. And they were shackled up. They were shackled, and they were just like, they were basically walking towards the government building, and the government was like, you know, like, it was so crazy, but it was so symbolic to what like is happening now, or what could happen in the future. Like people just, you know, mindless or brainlessly you know, following orders, and they don't know, but like it's making them depressed, and they're actually ruining their lives when they you know just follow the government. Like, because the government is collapsing, the government is coming down. I also had a dream about that too. You know, we're not gonna have a government. I know I'm not talking about weed anymore, but like, I'm gonna get back to the weed, but like, this is really important too. Like, we're not gonna have a government anymore. Donald Trump is gonna be the last president. I said this in one of my other videos. He's gonna be the last president, because the Senate, legislative, judicial branch, all of these, like, you know, government, you know, establishments are not gonna be here any longer. You know, it's coming down. Like that video, or that movie, White House Down. You know, like they kind of tell you about what they kind of tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. So, you know, the government isn't gonna exist for too long. It's gonna come down. Like, and the people who are following the government, they're gonna go down with it. The government is gonna drag them down with it. You know, so just be smart, because the government is not going to exist. So if you're listening to the government, just know you're just gonna like end up in a bad place, because it's coming down. So anyway, back to what I was saying about weed. It activates and opens your pineal gland, and it helps you see things, you know, differently. Like, it actually, you know, like it just makes you like see things in a different perspective, from like a higher perspective. Like, and it can actually, and it releases any negative thoughts. So if you have like negative feelings, or, you know, anything like that, it just dissolves it, and you know, like it just kind of takes down those mental blocks, those mental barriers that might be preventing you from like reaching your happiest self. But, you know, but once that high goes away, you're kind of back to how you were before. But like, that's why, you know, you can't rely on weed as like a crutch. Like, you can't depend on weed to like always be there to help you. I mean, marijuana is healing, because, you know, she is female, marijuana is female, and females have healing energy. Like, we're very healing. Like I said in my other video, when you hurt yourself, you know, when you were a kid and you would hurt yourself, you would scrape your knee, or, you know, break your arm or something, you would go to your mother, because your mother just, like, you were just naturally drawn to her, because she has healing energy. So when you are hurt, you go to a female because a female is going to help you, because we are healers. Like, you know, we'll kiss your boo-boos and just do everything like that. So it's just like, it's just who we are, like, as women. So when you smoke weed, you know, weed is feminine. Weed is healing. It has woman energy. It can heal you mentally and physically. So like when you're in pain and you smoke weed, you can actually alleviate yourself of pain. And I know you all know this already, but you know, just some people who think that weed is bad. Like, weed is not bad. The weed that is out now, this is why they legalize it. The weed that is out now is bad for you. It is bad for you. Like, that's why you have to be careful where you get your weed from. Like, when you buy weed, you want to make sure that it's organic, non-GMO, not sprayed with any pesticides, so like chemical free. You know, you don't want to have any pesticides, any, you know, like just craziness on your weed, because when you smoke that, you know, like if you smoke joints or like bowls or whatever, like whatever you smoke, I don't recommend blunts, because blunts, like, you know, that's tobacco. Like, even though you scrape the tobacco out of there, that leaf is still, it still has tobacco in it. So like, you don't want to be smoking blunts. But joints are good, bongs are good. I think bongs are like the cleanest, because you're really just getting the THC in the weed. You're not really getting like paper or anything. So those are my, if you do smoke bongs or like joints or whatever, you want to make sure that you are smoking organic weed. And it is kind of hard to find it. So like your plug, you want to ask your plug, like, hey, where do you get this weed from? Where do you know, like, who grows this? The person who grow this, do they use like pesticides? Like what do they put in their weed? You know, if your plug doesn't grow, ask them where they get it from, you know, and figure it out, because you don't want to just be putting anything into your body. Like, that's one thing. Like, when you smoke, you want to make sure that it's good for you. Just be mindful, you know, because you don't want to be taking in any poison, and you don't want to damage your body, because your body is your temple. And you know, if you got, because it can, when you smoke pesticides, it can actually lead you with like lung issues, like actual chest pain. So like just be careful. I remember I used to have those chest pains before. I don't get them anymore, but I used to. Like, I'm more mindful now of what I do. Yeah, weed is feminine. She is good. She is healing. And you know, in the government, you want to know how I kind of feel about the whole legalizing weed thing. I feel like it's really unfair how there are Black brothers and sisters in prison right now for weed, but then there's all these dispensaries, you know, across the country just open, you know, and people can just freely walk in and out and buy weed, and people can just freely, you know, sell it and make money, profit off of it. But then my brothers and sisters, my Black kings and queens, are in jail, and I don't like that, because first of all, they shouldn't be in jail over something that grows from the earth. They shouldn't be in jail for something that literally can heal you and can make you feel better, okay, and not feel like shit. So it's really wrong how my brothers and sisters are in jail. Like, they're spending like, I don't even know how many years, probably like 5, 10, 20, maybe even life. I don't know. It just depends on, it's not fair how they put, you know, these police and all in this crooked government, this crooked system, how they put us in jail for weed, you know, marijuana, when it grows from the earth, cannabis. Like, come on now. Like, but then they put, you know, but then they let people, you know, just anybody start a dispensary and then they can grow it. Like, it's not fair. Like, if you're gonna legalize it, you need to free those Black people in the jail. You need to free them, because that's not fair, you know, because when they come out, you know, I'd probably be pissed if I come out of jail and I see all these people smoking weed and everything is just, you know, cool. Like, I'm gonna be really pissed, because like you have me in jail for, like, and now, you know, people can just go and buy it like from the store. Like, are you kidding me? I would be extremely upset. So like, you know, and I don't care if it was I don't care if it was illegal back then. Like, it should have never been illegal in the first place, because if the government would have just minded their business and let us just have a good time and feel good, it wouldn't even be no problem. But you know, they don't want us to connect, and they don't want us to, you know, have that higher vibration. They want us to stay in that low vibration. And they know And they know that when you smoke, you can actually raise your vibration if the weed is at a good vibration. Now, if you smoke weed that's like GMO, pesticides, just all kind of, all like, what's it called? They manipulate the, look at those bees. Whoa, that's a lot of bees. You really don't see bees that much anymore, but I have a bunch of bees on my tree right now over there. But like, yeah, weed is cool, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be doing it every day. Like, I'd say like once a week, or like once or twice a week, like whenever you need it. Like, I feel like whenever you meditation is like really good when you smoke. Like, it's like even better, because like your body is relaxed. Now this is like for indica. Your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed. You just feel more loose, and you just feel more like you can just sit and just really be in the moment and just release, because when you meditate, you do kind of release that like unwanted, junk in your brain. So like it just helps you release, and it just feels really good, but I'm telling you, if you smoke that dispensary weed, you might not feel like that, because dispensary weed, I feel like it kind of makes you paranoid, but because it's not real weed. Like, you're smoking some GMO, like altered weed, so like you finna feel like. And then sativa, like if you want to really like get creative and like, just man, like your thought process is just so deep and like intricate. Like, if you really want to get deep and like just figure out your mind, just figure out everything, like sativa is good for that. Like, it really, like, you can really like just like pick apart something and just put it back together in a whole new way. Like if you, like, let's say you go outside and like you look at the tree, like you can like pick apart the tree, think about like everything, like the stems, the branches, like the roots, how it gets its nutrients, like the water inside of it, because there is water inside the tree, like because the tree drinks water. And just like everything, like you can just pick it apart and then like put it back together, and then it's just like this beautiful masterpiece. Because now, you see it in a different light, like you see it in a different way. And that's really what it's all about. It's just opening up your mind to new things and seeing things in another way, like just in another perspective that you may have not seen it before. And that's really just the beauty of it. Like, so, and then hybrids, you got hybrids. So hybrids are like, I don't really see the point in hybrids, because like you're kind of in the middle, like with it, like, okay, like I want to be relaxed, but I also want to like go paint and like be really like like it's kind of in the middle, because hybrids is like there is sativa and indica like in one. And I mean, that should just tell you right there, like that's some GMO stuff, because like I don't think weed naturally grows that way. I think hybrids are like when you have to do like some genetic altering and manipulation. I don't know, like I feel like if you want to smoke, if you want to feel relaxed and get that good body high, indica. And if you want to like or lay on the couch, that's indica. But like if you want to like go outside, like go for a walk, connect with earth, like that's sativa. So like why would you, like, I don't know. I mean, if you like hybrids, that's okay, but weed is not something that you should feel bad about doing, because I feel like they put so much like conditioning and programming into us to feel negatively about weed. So like, especially like adults, like the grown-ups, I feel like some of them, they be like, no, like we're not doing that. But because like they put so much programming into us, like they tell you if you smoke weed, you're gonna go to jail, or if you smoke weed, you're gonna get a fine, or if you smoke weed, you're gonna, like, bad things are gonna happen to you. Like, they literally put so much conditioning in us. But then they'll sell you and they'll tell you to go and take these pills and buy these pills to fix your illness or your disease. Like but those pills actually are the real drugs. Pharmaceutical drugs, those actually are bad for you. Like, they shouldn't be selling those. Like, painkillers, all these crazy pills and medicines, those really should not be sold. Like, literally, if the pharmaceutical industry and big pharma, if they could just switch their mind, like if they could just really get their mind off of collecting money and getting money from people and just, you know, sucking everybody dry from their money, if they just stop focusing on money for us for a minute and actually focused on like health and, you know, bettering people's lives and their well-beings, I mean, like, we could, like, everything would be so different. Because instead of prescribing pills, they would just prescribe organic weed, and that can actually heal you and help you. But you just have to be careful where you get it from, okay? Like, I'm not saying just go and get weed from anybody, but you do want to make sure, because you do want to make sure that it is organic and non-GMO. How weed affected me on my spiritual journey, I will definitely say that it helped open my third eye, because my third eye is open. I am very intuitive, very psychic. I like my third eye when I first opened my third eye. And I'll do a video on that whole experience, because that was beautiful. Like, that was just like this extremely like energetic moment of just energy just flowing through my body and flowing through my mind, like just so much energy that I never ever like explored before. Like, it was just so much energy. So like my third eye, this area in between my brows, was really pulsating, and just like it was just like pulsating, like just pulsating, and just like you can just feel it. It was just pressure, like just pressure. And I was like, every time I smoked, so like weed was definitely helping me in that way. It was definitely helping me. And you know, before you you know, ingest marijuana, whether you're smoking or eating it, and I recommend you eating it too, like, because that's healthier, you know, because when you smoke, it does pollute your lungs. It does, you know, pollute your body, because you shouldn't be taking in anything but air, food, and water. Like, you really shouldn't be ingesting smoke every day. So like, if you smoke it, don't smoke it like all the time. Like, try and make edibles, try and make like a way to eat it, ingest it. Like, just like, I don't know, I'm not about to give you all that information, like how to take weed, because I don't want to be the one that's like, oh yeah, like I told everybody to smoke weed. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm just letting you know that weed does heal you. It does help your situation, especially if you're going through it. Like, if you're going through depression, it can actually, you know, kind of lift that depression for a minute, and you can feel really good and just connect with, like, you know, good feelings, and just feel really good about life for a moment. And it's just not fair how like they made us hate that, feel so negatively about it. And I feel like you really shouldn't feel negative about it, especially if you've never done it before and you just had a bad experience. Like, that doesn't mean anything. That was you who had a bad experience. Other people might have a good experience. So like, don't be saying like, oh well, I had a bad experience. Like, maybe you had a bad experience because your mind, like, when you smoke, you don't want your mind to be on like, you know, anything negative, because like that can manifest into like what you're doing at that moment. Like, so if your mind is negative before you smoke, you might have a bad experience. Like, you might just be really paranoid, or you just might feel really anxious, or you just won't have a good experience. But if you go into it with like a positive, you know, mindset, you know, especially if you set intentions like, okay, when I, you know, smoke this weed, I want to connect with my higher self. I want to, you know, strengthen my intuition, raise my vibration. Like, if you set those intentions before you smoke, you will have a good time. You will have a good experience, and hopefully you'll take something from that, you know, and not just be like, you know, whatever, like wherever the wind takes you. Like, you want to just say, you don't have to do it every time, but like, I recommend you do it like pretty much every time. Like, before you smoke, look at the weed. If it's a joint, be like, okay, you know, weed, I want you to help me activate my third eye chakra. I want you to help me relax and clear my mind of any negativity, any negative thoughts. Help me, you know, get in tune with my intuition. Help me, you know, like, just whatever. Like, talk to the weed, because weed is a plant. You know, plants are alive. Is weed bad for you? No. Is weed good for you? It can be, if you smoking the right stuff and you set intentions. It's good for you. So, but I'm not suggesting to, you know, do that. But I'm just saying, like, if you are a smoker, I don't want to be out loud, But if you are a smoker, I don't, don't feel ashamed. Like, don't feel shameful of that, because there's people who drink alcohol and there's people who take pills, prescription medicine every day, and they're killing their body by doing that. So if you are a smoker, don't feel bad. And am I a smoker? I'm not gonna answer that, because I don't want to get, I'm really smart about it too. Like, I don't, I'm really smart about it. So yeah. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, share it with anybody if you want to share it with somebody, and subscribe. And yeah, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else I didn't say? Nope, I think that's it, y'all. Peace. I'm out.